the rates to pay the drivers more. You know? Yeah. It's myself, and I'm like, I can't like.
Hey, what's up, man? Probably a lot of background noise. Let me know if you can hear me. But yeah, it's really good. I've been really enjoying it. Let me see. There's a way to change the microphone. I think the top mic makes more sense. The app is there. There's it's a little overwhelming, or it has been overwhelming for me in the past. But yeah, man, I'm just kind of leaning into learning it, and for the way that I like making music, just more free and just more immediate with loop-based stuff, and the customizability, for lack of a better word, is what makes this like really special. So I'm really digging it as like just the iPad itself, right? And just connecting headphones, and the latest update on iOS lets you control the mic when you have something plugged in, which I think in the past that wasn't a thing. So I wasn't really able to talk through the microphone when I have headphones connected and stuff. So yeah, just kind of like leaning in. So let's keep it going. You said so. Its focus is looped or looping sample. Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of different things that you can do, but yeah, hence the name Loopy Pro. Like that's at its core what it is. What I've been using it for mostly lately is looping soft synths and on the iPad. So like these different AUV3s on the bottom here. Like I pinned ones that I think to start with will most commonly be used. But then you have stuff like looping your voice as well. A lot of people use this for like vocal looping, which technically we can do now as well. Actually, I'm trying to like color code things a little bit better. But for me, green, yellow. Are there two different greens here? I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, the green would be like a vocal section. That one screen looked like Koala app. Oh yeah, word, it is. This is Koala actually. And actually, you bring up an interesting point, which is, I'm gonna actually save this. Save it. And then I'm going to, if I do new project, you're gonna not hear me until I activate the mic again. So let's try that. All right, so yeah, the point you bring up, so that's called Koala Effect. So I have that going to, as a matter of fact, I'll actually show you. Let me go back to where we just were over here, and it is, man. Yeah, I'm just like happy to be back in this space. I took a long detour from iPad Music actually for a very long time, but if you go in here, I have like Where do I? Or do I even have it? Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. Hang on. Okay, you gotta slide. So I think here or here, if you slide over. No, maybe I don't have it actually here. Or maybe I do. There it is. So this on the right, this koala effects thing, that is so that when we're playing, so that lets you use koala's stuff on the main output if you wanted, or that's the thing about it. It's like can be overwhelming in terms of its customize how much you can customize it. But like if I wanted to only assign those effects to specific loops or specific colors, I should say, I can do that, which I might find as a thing that's valuable with doing, like just in the drum section or something like that. Still kind of working through that, but for now, doing it on the main output is really. We'll let you just build up a loop like this and then mess it up like this. You could apply to the vocal sample and leave the other. Exactly. So if I wanted, yeah, thanks. If I wanted, and I actually, let's do it right now. Like I could, let's see, vocals are here. So like if I wanted, I can come over here and put something like call effects. So now on this input section, we see that mic icon. This is like another iteration of koala effects that add reverb like that or stir like that, which is dope. Filter. So it's kind of, I don't know. This is really cool. There's a lot that you can do with it. But what I was gonna do. What I was gonna do is I don't know, add koala sampler itself as an AUV3, and I'm curious to see how this would work. But let's try it out. I might mute myself for a second, but I'm gonna try bringing some of my own mic, my own talking into koala sampler while it's being used as an AUV3, and I'm gonna try bringing in like a live sample to like chop or something within koala sampler within Loopy Pro, which sounds so convoluted, but if it works the way that I think it would, it could be kind of crazy. I don't know if I love this. But yeah, let me mute myself for the talking and I'll share my findings in a moment. Yo, what's up? The breathalyzer, Sean Johnson music. Yeah, fun isn't the word. This is like this. I mean, it is the word. This is like the most. What's the word? Like that flow state music making experience that's been evading me for a while because I've been spending a lot more time learning stuff as opposed to just creating. Right now it's both. Right now I'm still learning how to use the app, but I'm like, my goodness, how inspiring is this? And it's cool because like whenever I think that's what makes it special. Whenever there's a thing about this that I feel like I wish it could do this, or I want to be able to do this or that. Like I feel like you can do everything in here, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just overwhelming how fun this is to use, how fun it's been lately. Like I almost feel like I don't even want to mess around with anything else until this becomes not fun or not enticing or something. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Yeah, it's really breathtaking, and I'm excited to continue doing this, and then make some meaningful content around this to explore with people. Because truth be told, when this originally was announced, I thought like the world stopped, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is going to be game changing. But I never got into Loopy Pro for a few different reasons. But the reasons that I didn't get into it back then, I mean, it had to do with the fact that I was overwhelmed. Honestly, there was too much to do, too much ability and customization. I felt like it was going to be difficult for me to find the perfect format or perfect workflow. But now, I mean, part of the fun is designing a template that works for you, right? And that's been very, very cool. There's still some nuance with like template and default design that I'm still kind of figuring out. For example, I like how this sounds right now, and I know that this title up top is something new. So I know that if I save this, that it's gonna save it to a new project. But sometimes, for whatever reason, and maybe I'll have to reach out to Michael Tyson or just figure out why it's doing that sometimes. But sometimes my default would be saved, like whatever I created over the default would be saved over the default template. And obviously that's not what you want, so I don't know why that would happen sometimes. So I have to just kind of finesse that and kind of figure that out. But if I go back to projects, my default is my default down here. Yeah, it's wild. This is good stuff. Loopy Pro, yeah, it really is, man. I want to reach back out to Michael Tyson, and I want to give him his flowers, honestly. And so like what I just did today is I was just, as you can see, I was using Koala within Loopy, and it's just like you can just go down some crazy rabbit hole of, I mean, cheaper option to what I'm doing with, and yeah, you hit it on the head, man. Yeah, it's gonna be cool for me to be able to talk about and share the genuine excitement about this platform for me right now with others, because I think that, take Teenage Engineering, for example, like that $2,300 is inaccessible for a lot of people. And so, I don't know, something about being able to show what you may have already, i.e. an iPad or an iPhone, right? Most people have an iPhone, right? So to be able to kind of like spearhead that a little bit now is very exciting. The save function is janky. I duplicate the thing yeah, there you go. That's what I did just now. Whenever I try to save from now on and I see that it's going to save, like let me go to a new project here. All right, so if I'm here and if I try to save right now, look at that, like it's a new name, so I know that it's gonna save this default that it was. Oh, I think I just kind of figured this out. Actually, let's talk about it. So I believe that, and I think I just figured it out. It's actually not bad at all. I think that whenever I go to projects, and if I were to click on default right now and launch the default from the default project and then start making a song from there and then save it, it's going to save to that default project, which we don't want. However, whenever I go to new, and then go here, as you can see, it's probably going to always save it from new as a new project. So I think that's the issue. So I think I just kind of figured it out. You save over the original. Yeah, for real, it's really expensive, and this does the same stuff. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it does. Not to say I'm gonna, I still am a big fan of like, the hardware and stuff like that as well for different reasons. But I don't know. Like, I'm gonna do a little less talking. I'm gonna go back into. I just want to create some more. So let's do that. All right. So the first thing I just thought of is. I need to edit, and I think that's okay. So we're figuring it out. If I go back to, if I'm like, all right, I want to modify my default template, I need to go back to default. Now we're back to default, and I'm like, I want to add, koala. As an AUV3 by default, I think. So I don't have to do it each time because I think that would be kind of cool. So I think the other thing with koala is, as we saw earlier, I was able to like import a video, no problem. But I wonder, and let's take that a step further. So I've already kind of shown that I don't like, and I don't know if this was available before on Loopy either. I don't like overlays over the project. Like I want to be able to see this at all times. So it's cool to have this option, but then this panel at the bottom, that's kind of a huge deal. I don't know if that was there before or if I just didn't know about it. But in any case, I'm trying to figure out now with koala, if I were to go into it like this, it says input, but I would love to be able to, and I don't even know if that's that needed or not, but I'd love to be able to have the mic active right now in koala, so I can just tap a pad and just, use that. But I don't see that as an option for whatever reason. So if I, let me see, we did an import video, but I'm kind of curious about add location. Let me just look at this for a sec. I just want to see where I have some old songs or something that I can just bring in and well, it's not even launching this now for some reason. I don't know what that's about. If I go here, import file, tap. Yeah, something is going on with that. More? I don't know. Well, we'll have to look at that a little bit more, perhaps, right? But let's minimize that, and maybe I don't want to save this. Maybe I don't want koala to open up immediately by default anymore. So I might just go new project. All right, so let's keep creating. Let's keep going. Yeah, we'll keep going. just thought of something too. So I have knock applied to the red color, so that when I record the drums, it sounds louder. So for example, if I were to go here, you're gonna hear it sound louder and more whatever after the recording is done. But I have a thing I want to check out after. All right, I'm gonna mute myself again, but I just want to hear something. Okay, so yeah, all right, so a couple things. Obviously, it recorded the input too, which we don't want. So we want input. Again, when I think of something, I just want to go back to the default and save it. I'm trying to see, why do we have two green colors down here, even though we only have one green? Let me just see something here. So this second green color on the right, we don't need, right? Because it's not there. So let's go back to default, and we want vocals to be only on green, I think. Yeah, so let's figure that out. All right, so let's rearrange the order of these. What is this? Orange, yellow, green. I don't know which blue. I guess this one looks like it. And then purple, pink, red. So how many is that? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And this one maybe should be removed. Let's just confirm that I added the right color blue. I think I did. Also, this input, we want to delete, and we want to add the input over here. And I guess we can delete this. Just make sure. Two on, that's weird. Alright, so obviously we have two light blues. We don't want that. Let's bring this over here. Light blue. Light blue is there. This one we don't need, I guess. Dark blue. Light blue. Alright, so we got a little more clean than blue. We got to change this other blue color to something different. Let's do that. Custom. No. Color. Find the color that we want. And amber. Pink. Purple. We don't want purple again. Pink. Magenta. Magenta, delete. I guess that's right. Purple, pink, red. Here. That looks good, right? So we can remove that, and oh, we got a duplicate A/B section. Undo. Are we on B? Hang on. So we're on B with that. So we got to delete A section. And then we got to duplicate this. Copy. Have an A and B section. That's cool. I think that's good for now. Let's save this again as a template. I also wanted to see, it would be nice if you can open up this app with, I don't know. Oh, well, first of all, I got to start favoriting stuff too. All right, so let's save this anyway. Let's see where we're at so far. The flaunt gets saved. And then new. Okay, so it does pull up what you want. So what if I always started with some piano sound or something? I don't know. Ambient piano. So that's good. A B section is good. Now I think the other thing that I wanted, I don't need to yet, but was like adding these scene buttons to play the whole row. And I don't know exactly how to do that. Let's explore that in one of these sample projects really quick. Simple scene, I think 2 was the one, so let's go in here. Alright, so this lets you create scenes, but I want to see what these are, I guess. Scene button, tapping these will switch the playing loops to just the ones in the same row. I just want to know how do you create a new button or something. I guess it's this thing. So that's that. And then how do you choose what it does is the question. So scene 1. Oh, there you okay. So you can just replicate this. So solo play group 1. So if you press it, solo play group 1, and that's group 1. I guess it's top. Press, play. Super in depth. Play stop. Let me see. Hang on. We want to delete this. How do you remove this? Copy the clipboard. How do you remove what you just did? Duplicate? I don't know. That's weird that you can't do that. But let's delete that. So it says solo play group 1. So for example, I think if I were to, let's just do like a rudimentary thing here. If I go to plus here, sample is, go here. All right, so if I try to do some random stuff here, let's just see. 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 I gotta turn mic off, obviously. Again, we're just testing this out, but let me mute myself. All right, so this almost does exactly what we want to do, like session view in Ableton, with the exception of when you press a color, I would like it to only be able to play that color one time, not 2 times, but it's close. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to just creating though, but I think we're getting close though. All right, let's mute myself. I'm gonna get back into creating some more nonsense. Yeah, I said that. All right, so let's see. Let's go here. Mute. Said, I never messed around with Ableton Lite more than 10 minutes, about the least intuitive. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I've had quite a journey with that particular platform. I've made some great stuff with it, but as I've learned over the past several years, interfacing with a computer specifically, or even a MacBook, is not as fun as hardware or an iPad. An iPad feels like an instrument for me. It feels like hardware because I'm interfacing with it without having to connect anything. And that makes a big difference for me. And that's okay. I don't do real fancy stuff, but Loopy Pro is very easy to figure out. Yeah, I hear you. Peace.